Okay, how we doing, everyone? We still awake? All right, in the Walnut Room, activating groups and teams. So if you're interested in that, the Walnut Room. In the Chestnut Room, we have Registration 101 for timers. But if you want to stay here at the premier event with Jordan and Steve, we're going to do a little business development discussion on how you can get involved in other types of activities for your business. So take it over, guys. And very exciting last presentation of the day. So just got to get through this one more and we're going to have a good time tonight. All right, take it away.
Well, we're waiting on Devin, Evan, and Kevin to get situated here. I don't know. Are you guys ready? Just waiting. We did want to ask real quick, who here is actually doing anything besides running events? Then you're in the right place. Awesome.
How many of you are doing it on TicketSignup? Nice. Okay.
Good. We will convert you all now. Otherwise, no dinner or no drinks. But that's one of the things that we want to talk about. What we started to find out was a lot of our customers also did other things, the same as how we started around the donation path for our races. And then other customers are like, well, a great example is my buddy. We're going to show a few slides about him today. But he does about 8 races, but then he bought a farm and started doing a whole bunch of other things at that farm and needed a solution. And I know we've talked about a lot of ticket stuff already. So you started to see some of those things and why we developed it. And before I get too off topic, we'll move to the slides so it's a little more focused.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions, I think when I was in here earlier with the email V2 session, you know, it was great. People are asking questions throughout the whole thing. So please feel free to do that as we're going along. So the things that we're going to cover today is why expand, why think beyond endurance and registration events, and what are the areas of growth? So what are those different sectors or types of events that you could go into outside of races? And what are the tools that RunSignup, TicketSignup offers in order to make that happen? So why expand? Things that we learned during COVID. Diversifying offerings can help insulate a business from uncertainty. So meaning that if you've got all of your eggs in one basket, that's never a good thing, right? You know, while races are your bread and butter, there's no reason why you can't go into other areas that if the races are having a bad year, you've got several events that just have awful rain. You've got these other events that can pick up where that slack fell off or where that profit didn't happen. People are social and they will find a way to attend events if they want to, if they're comfortable with it. We know that now. People love creativity. They love when people think outside the box and do fun themes. And there's just a tremendous opportunity for event organizers that are willing to look outside of endurance and start doing other things. So more lessons from the endurance industry. You know, it's interesting to see that our race folks are actually skewing a little bit older. So we moved from 2018, we had 34.6% were under 30 years of age. And last year it was 28.8%. So that's a fairly significant percentage drop. But we know that these younger generations, they will come and show up if there's a cause that they support. And it really kind of doesn't matter what that event is. They will show up for it. And then we also learned that traditional predictable participation patterns were interrupted. We know a lot of people are waiting until much later to sign up. So volatility and unpredictability remain. So because of all of that uncertainty, it's good to think about what else you can be doing to spread out all your resources and make sure that you're poised for success.
Yeah, to add to that, it seems the younger generation, they're looking for more than just showing up, running a race and going home. Like that's what I grew up doing. I was competitive. I wanted to race, but the younger generation, they want to play cornhole afterwards or swim at the beach afterwards. So some of these things are just going to kind of help. How do we bring that younger generation in? How do we turn a single race into maybe more of an event for them? Because over the next 10 years, this demographic is just going to continue to shift in their favor.
And we wanted to show kind of what opportunity exists out there. So right now in the US, 31,000 are endurance events. There's 1.8 billion estimated events in the US each year. So if you're only sticking to endurance, and maybe that's all you need, we're not here to push anybody to do anything they're not comfortable with, but if you're here, you're probably open to it. So there's so many more clients out there that could be doing things that you already have the resources and the knowledge and the expertise to do for them. So this is an example of an event that you can be doing. This is our brand new calendar feature with TicketSignup, which is great. It's really clear what days they're open. Events such as festivals, haunted houses, sledding hills, flower shows, they can last several days or weeks, and they can make your event, or you're going to make your event work longer and last longer, sorry, and reach more people. So, you know, you're set, if you've got a space where you can set up and do all that infrastructure with the tents and the toilets and whatnot, you can really see some efficiencies, right? If you just keep it up for the entire month. Obviously, you've got those daily costs, but nothing like those setup and teardown costs that happen when you're doing everything on 1 day or 2 days. And then why endurance professionals fit. So why people in this room that are organizing endurance races, why it makes sense for you to do other types of events. There's transferable skills, right? You're all great project planners or project managers. You know how to plan events. You're good with technology. You have relationships with the city, with the county on your race side. You've got partnerships with organizations that can help promote the event you want to do to all of their databases and their constituents. And there's an expertise gap because a lot of these organizations are trying to do this stuff in-house, and you guys are experts. So by going out and offering them like, hey, we don't only do races, we could also help you with your gala, or we could also help you with your festival. And then cross-selling. So remember, you've got this great endurance, these databases from your endurance races. Those are that you're starting with an amazing list to go out and market your festival or to market your sledding hill. So you're not starting from scratch. You're already a leg up on your competitors.
Yeah, one of the things that we noticed is, again, you guys are familiar with setting up races. You know how to do this. So whether you're the ones putting on the other events or helping somebody else in the community do this, I just got off the phone with another guy. He's like, I put on the race. I deal with all the athletes, the elite stuff. I don't have time to deal with the registration. And they're happy to farm that out to other folks. I mean, you know, the race day events crew here, they set up a ton of registration for all their customers. So if that's a skill you have, that's something that, you know, besides putting on an event, you can easily go work with another organization in the area and help them with that. What we found with looking at some of the ticket stuff is that market is horribly underserviced. They can't do multi-day stuff. They can't do the coupons, the transfers and everything. It's so clunky, and they've been waiting for something new to come along, and so insert us.
And I think about too, all the sort of benefits you get from the volume of additional events. So the organization I've been with for many years prior to joining RunSignup, we had about 50% were endurance, 50% festival. If we came with the number of toilets that we ordered and asked our vendor to give us a price on just our endurance races, it would have been 20 or 30% higher than what they gave us when we brought them our portfolio of festival events. So the more events you're adding, that higher volume, you're going to get better unit costs, which are going to reduce your costs on your endurance side. So they're going to help each other by having this higher volume. And let's face it, like a barricade is a barricade. It works at a start finish line. It also works at a gate at a festival entrance. Toilets are toilets. All of these things that you're doing at races and relationships you have with vendors, they're also out at these other events setting them up. So you can leverage those relationships to do exactly what these other companies are doing. So here's your buddy there at Fortitude Farms.
So this is the spotlight of my buddy here. Again, he bought a defunct golf course and turned into a fitness studio, started doing weddings out of there. And then he turned the grounds into a farm. So on top of doing between 6 to 8 5K run issues around the grounds every year, then he added in a corn maze. So all of his runs throughout the year added up to maybe 600 participants. He throws together a corn maze and he gets 3,500 participants to a corn maze. And then he started doing dinners. They do farm fresh dinners and he charges $100 a seat and they sell out every time he does them. And then I convinced him to build a sledding hill. So he is getting a pond permit currently to dig a pond to use the dirt to make a sledding hill, because about an hour away from him, there was a small farm that had a sledding hill. They just put some Christmas lights on it. They use some turf grass, and they do a 50-minute tube rental for $14. And you can do birthday parties and stuff there. They had 30,000 people use a sledding hill. It is effortless. You just hand a kid a tube and send them on their way. And they did 30,000. Like, and I'm hearing these numbers and I'm like, do you know how hard it is to get a 30,000 person race? Like, that is a mega race. Those are like maybe 10 of those in the country. And it's just a small sledding hill with some Christmas lights for decorations. So he's like, yep, I'm digging a pond. So there's fun things. He's our guinea pig. He'll just do anything. So it's working out well. His insurance guy said it was a great idea. Absolutely. His insurance guy said this was a great idea because it's barely going to mess with the insurance because it's just a sledding hill. I mean, it's a hill. So it's not like he's setting up an obstacle course race. No, he's got it. It barely adjusted his volume. Yeah, his insurance guy said this is an awesome idea. You should do this. For what?
$14.
He is going to charge less than $14. He's probably going to charge $8 because he's in a little more rural area. So this should all go live in maybe 2 months. Yeah, no. You buy your tubes, man. You go buy your tubes. Absolutely.
Now, did he bring in the snow or did he?
So that's the big key. That's why you put the turf grass down, because if there's no snow, a tube will still rip down turf grass. And you can go to Home Depot and literally get rolls of turf grass. Just stake them in.
I want to take away from this.
Dig a hole. Profitable hole.
So we just wanted to reiterate then, we're not asking or having anybody, try to consider leaving races or stop doing that part of your business, right? This is all about expanding your business.
Yeah, a lot of nonprofits we found, like some of them we talked to in the pandemic were freaking out because the race was the only thing they did for their revenue stream. And we were like, you guys thought of like a cornhole tournament? So it's very important to have other streams and other things to do. I think we all probably know that here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here.
So existing partnerships that you can leverage, right? So you're working with your clients, nonprofits, you're maybe organizing the walk for them, a 5K, a half marathon, but they're doing other events for sure. And if you have a great relationship with them, why wouldn't they want to use you for those other pieces? And let's face it, I think a lot of times they're reluctantly doing those operations and setting up registration. And so somebody coming to them with that solution to free up their time to do what they do best, which is working on relationships with donors and sponsorship. Yeah, sorry, did you have a question? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Sorry, there's a little lag on my button here. Okay, so municipalities, I mentioned this as a bullet point earlier. So, you're working with them already. They know you, hopefully they like you, they're giving you permits. So now they trust you. Right. So if you have a crazy idea like digging a hole and creating a sledding hill, they'll be like, all right, we'll give Jordan a try, at least 1 year. Those are some things that some races, as you guys know, it takes a long time to build those relationships and to get that trust established. You already have that. So again, you have a leg up on competitors that are in these event spaces that you can now move into. And small businesses. So again, talking about the local farm or winery or brewery, they've got property. So there's no, venue rental costs. It's just a blank slate to really create anything that you want to.
And another thing that we had mentioned with one of our customers, like, yeah, they do a brew run. How come there's not a brew tent with tickets and sales after that? Like, they're not utilizing you've already got people interested, they're showing up. Stack on top of that with your event and synergize with somebody else on that. We had one race we looked at, it was 100-person pickle 5K. I was like, nobody is going to look at 100-person pickle 5K, right? But then you don't realize they have a 15,000-person pickle fest that it flows into. So again, and they're using all these different softwares trying to do all this stuff. So it's like, just, we're helping trying to streamline that, but it's one way that they can you got people there. How do you add on to that?
All right. So the types of events that nonprofits are doing that you could offer your services to, right? So dinners and gala events, golf fundraisers, bike-a-thons, guest speakers, luncheons, breakfasts, voting contests. You'd be amazed, people will pay just the chance to vote for the name of the new baby monkey at a local zoo, right? Bake sales, site tours, fashion shows, cornhole tournaments, festivals, trivia nights. So the key here is that, you know, your experience, you know, the platform, you know it from the endurance side, and a lot of what the TicketSignup platform was built on was with the same developers that built all these tools that you're using already. And so there's a familiarity. You're experts on how to navigate through customer questions and how to resolve them. So you're just going to transfer that skill over to these different types of events.
Yes.
So yes. Say it again, the voting contest. So you would actually, you could use event tiles to put like the picture of the baby monkey and then the different names. So, you know, Bobby is event number 1 and James is event, these are horrible monkey names. But each one of them, the registration fee is $5. And so you just register for the $5 Bobby race. And then whoever is, you know, has the most event registrations for that is the winner. So we've had several actually of those. So whichever event has the most registrants would then be the winner. So if Bobby has more registrations than James, Bobby would be the new name of the monkey. Yeah.
Well, if it's tickets, you're not really asking barely anything.
Right.
So that's where again, the ticket platform is a very slimmed down version,
Lightweight
of that, to
version of
just
registration.
be able to rip people through these things. And then, okay. Yeah. Hey, you were first in the back of the blue shirt. Yeah,
Yes.
if your ticket slot, your tickets would be set up under time slots. So you would purchase your time slot. So
Yes.
yeah, 7 p.m. Yeah, I'm just liking that you're sinking a truck in the ice. This is great. That was not on the slides.
So on the ticketing platform, the way you would do that is each one of those time slots would be a ticket level, and then you would group them by, you know, the day. So for example, let's say for a wine tasting event, if you had 6 different sessions that people could come to, those would each be different ticket levels. And then Saturday would be the ticket group that they would all fall under. So when it displays, it's really easy. Like, well, I want to go on Saturday, and then I pick from these different timed entries of when I can go to the event.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
we should build that before you leave, because I just want to save.
Yeah. Jason. Yeah. Jason, and then we'll go back over here. Mm. Mm-hmm.
So it depends. Some folks have a setup fee that they want to charge. Some folks will just simply do like a partner commission. So a lot of the folks in this room are probably have played around with partner pricing or whatever, and you can basically take a piece of that pie every time somebody registers, right? So you come into it and say, you don't have to pay me anything. I'm going to go do this, and I'll just make money when people register. So there's that option as well. Yeah, that's an easy one,
So,
right?
I mean, my calculation always like, how many hours do I think an event coordinator is going to have to put into this client's event? Because sometimes it could be so many people, but they only want us to do this small piece, right? Or they want us to do everything. And so if it's 100 hours, then times my hourly rate, bam, that's our management fee. Yeah. in my experience with festival management, at least, and those kind of events, it's usually like a base, like a flat fee that is based on the number of hours that you plan to put in. Yeah.
Are you able to add like the field that is required to collect?
Mhm.
Like, we have a golf in Washington State.
Mhm.
We have time pool.
Mhm.
So with time pool, it's like, I have to be able to collect like the search size, their members and not members and stuff like that, and then connect it to a nurse, right? For payment and stuff, but so how is, so with them, you can't collect any additional, you can't put any more fields, right, to get the search size and
Mhm.
stuff like that. With something like this ticket, are you able to do something like that?
Absolutely. Yep. So it's called information collection. And when you enable that, you can ask any number of questions, and it's all the same kind of types of questions where it's a yes, no, or a drop down or an essay style. And that will be collected per ticket holder. So that then they'll enter in, like, if I'm going to buy 5 tickets, but I'm going to answer all those questions, and I have to answer, everything for those 5 people. Or if it's just myself, I can just ask that information for the one person.
Yeah. So with the ticket part, are you able to run reports as well that will give you all that data?
Absolutely. Yep. Again, the same developers that built all that reporting for RunSignup on the Reg platform built that, kind of mirrored that in the ticketing. I mean, there's some things that, like, some things were born in ticketing and then moved, over. So for example, email V2, that started on tickets. So it's actually driving a lot of great innovation and new tools that we then bring over to races. So yeah, I encourage you though to, again, like, start your own, like, just create a ticket event and just start playing around, you can add in manual tickets so that you can start actually running reports and seeing what it looks like.
Yeah, and that's why we want to make sure, I know we got a couple more questions. We want to make sure that there's, after this, have time to go in the demo room, either tomorrow, if there's a session you want to jump in, we're happy to sit with you, help you build your first ticket event, even if just a test event, just to play around with it, or jump on the back end of one we've already got built for you, to just, so you can click around and check out the interface and stuff. Bruce, you're snapping.
So when you do the ticket side of things with the event idea that you're talking about, so if we're doing a 5K in conjunction with an event, can you add in onto your event sign up the ticket also so they can do one purchase? Or is it just like an on-site ticket sale like it is in the demo room?
So it's not an on-site ticket. Depending on how you're doing it, you would most likely do the 5K on RunSignup, and then you might get a redirect over, depending on, I don't think we have the bundle
To
built yet.
integrate to
No,
one.
they don't
page?
integrate together, but I think in that case, you would probably just use a registration add-on to sell a ticket for a post
On the run
race
side.
party or VIP or beer garden. Yeah. Yes.
We're having a lecture. Okay, we're having a lecture on for head and neck in August, but it's completely free for the doctors and nurses and stuff like that for their CMEs. But they got it, they still have to register, but it's more a registration, or that, like, it's all considered a ticket.
So
Makes sense.
right. So it's going to default to the word, and I'm going to fail here for a minute because I can't remember if this, Bruce, maybe you can help me if this is in production yet, but I think the ability to customize the word ticket to be something else, like vote or.
Yeah, you can rename the
That's
word,
the
but I
card.
think
The card editing.
maybe the thing you can explain, Steve, is the difference between registration and the ticketing platform, and
Yep.
why you would use one or the other.
Yep. And we actually have a great slide that breaks down all of that. So let me get to that. Do you want to pause on that, and then we'll come back to you if there's still a question? Cool. So again, these are the municipal events. I always encourage people, go and look and see what cities have on their event calendars. It's usually their events. Some of them incorporate other people's, but it's usually just their schedule. And those are all ones that they're organizing, and they go out to bid and use event production folks to do all of that. It's very rarely actually done by the city, or at least a big portion of it isn't. So I encourage you to reach out to your local city and be like, yeah, I got that permit. Also, can I help you? Like, I can come out and do this, you know, you trust me, I'll do the event for you. So we'll knock through these. We kind of talked through some already, but corn
Yeah,
mazes, yeah, Christmas light shows, winery tours. This is a craft beer festival in Chicago. You can see they've got 3 different days where they have those timed entries that you can purchase tickets to enter into. You use the ticket check-in app to scan everybody as they come in. You know, I personally was at this event years ago, and we had lines out the door, and it worked very poorly with our old vendor that was relying on internet. And one great thing about both our race day check-in app and the ticket check-in app is that you can download all that data onto the device, right? And so if your internet is horrible, you're going to be okay. And it may not be that powerful in the moment when you're on site and you're like, oh, I got 4 bars, guys, we're going to be great with the internet connection over at Solutions, no problems. And then you forget what it looks like when 2,000 people descend on that site and everybody is jamming those lines. So you want to make sure that what tool you're using has the ability to have a desktop version or one that is copying that data onto your local device. Okay, so here's where we're getting to Bruce's point about how we can talk about what is registration versus ticketing. So participants register, you're collecting lots of information about them, right? You're asking all of those custom questions, the t-shirt size that they want, why they do this race, are they walking for somebody? And then they need lots of interactions, right? So they're initially getting registered, but maybe you're talking to them about fundraising, you're communicating with them about packet pickup, you're sending out result links after the event, and they need an account to be able to manage all of this. So that's another really big distinction. We do not require an actual profile or signing in when you're purchasing a ticket. You do have the flexibility to require that, but it's not necessarily recommended. You know, when people are signing up for a festival or Sledding Hill, I don't know which 4 friends I'm going to bring to me, but I know I'm going to bring 4 people with me on December 20th when I go. And it doesn't really matter. And you as the organizer don't really care who that is. And then if you want to include peer-to-peer fundraising, again, which is a really deeper piece of the race and registration experience, you're going to be using the registration platform. And if you want to work with groups or teams, either the social groups and teams or our fundraising teams, you'd want to be using the registration platform. But for tickets, again, it's lightweight. So if you want people to just purchase, literally click what ticket they want and then get to the checkout screen and enter the credit card, then tickets is what you want to be using. So much less information, but we do have the option to turn it on if you do want to collect custom question answers. You can purchase bulk tickets. You're not agreeing to a waiver like you are with registrations. Again, no account is required. You can accept donations in the flow of the ticket purchase if you want to. We don't have any kind of team functionality. So again, if you have that and that's important, you need to use the registration platform. And then we do group all of our tickets together, similar to what we were talking about with the time to entry. So that makes it really nice to visually present all the different options they can do to participate in your event.
So for your event, you would have like, if it's a lecture, maybe you're doing like this, table 1, table 2, you know, 8 seats per table. So maybe your tickets for this, you want people to register quickly, but be able to choose what tables they're sitting at with their families, groups, or friends or whatever. You can set tickets up like that. So it's still a very quick process, but it gets people where they want to go and stuff like that. Mhm. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So just a reminder, TicketSignup, yes, it is another brand. It is another name that falls under our umbrella, but it is still a single sign-on. So if you're logged into RunSignup and you open TicketSignup or you go to your profile and click on My Ticket Events, there's no additional step you need to do to get in. And we have, some of you know, all these really fun names that we own the domains for. And if you just replace RunSignup or TicketSignup, one distinction though, TicketSignup is not a .com, it is a .io. But all the rest of these are .coms that you can use interchangeably. So if it makes sense, I don't think we have a sled sign up yet.
It's coming, man.
All right.
It's coming.
And remember that you can always bring over your own domain, and that's on the registration side as well as on the ticketing side. So you do not have to use any of our branding on that, and you completely white label. So this is just to reiterate at the Scott Coffee Run, run by Bob. It all looks the same no matter what domain you're using. All right. So our partner dashboard, who here is a partner and has a partner? Yep, awesome. So just recently, we released the capacity to be able to run all reports on your ticket events within your partner dashboard. So you will see everything in one place, which I think makes things really
Yeah, a
nice
lot of
and
people
easy.
didn't even realize it says ticket events there now. Just kind of showed up one day for you, found it, their partner page.
And secure sharing. So you can give access to all of your events at the partner level by turning it on here, it used to just only be for all of your races, but obviously now with incorporating tickets into the partner dashboard, it will also give access to those directors to be able to get to the ticket events, or you can still do it at the race level or the ticket event level. So here we just wanted to highlight Tunnel to Towers Foundation because recent customer that came on board with us, huge number of events, massive fundraising. They just finished their tower climb earlier this year. They have a national run walk series that they've started rolling out. They also do golf fundraisers. They have street festivals, tasting festivals, dinners. So it's just an example of a group that really it's a nonprofit that is doing so much out there. And they do, need lots of help to be able to execute these things. And they're using our platform to sell tickets and registrations to all of these events.
Yeah, and the issue that we started to see with folks like this before we had these tools for them is they're using a MailChimp or a Constant Contact for emails. They're using a Salesforce or something similar for a CRM, RunSignup for the race, and then some ticket site for something else. And then maybe you're linking from the ticket site over to some giving site. So some of the folks I've talked to have been using anywhere between 5 to 7 different pieces of software to do what we can now do pretty much all in one. So, and those softwares they have to pay for. And obviously we're nice and you guys can use this stuff for free. But yeah, I feel bad for these nonprofits. Feel like, well, this one's $3,000 a year. This one was $10,000 a year. And I was like, it's a whole salary gone in just software packages.
So the other thing that is a fairly new release as well is email marketing for organizations. So not at the race level or the ticket level, but at the organization level, so that you can select contacts from all of the events that are associated with your payment account. So I want to be clear, that's how it is following. So if you have multiple payment accounts, those may not all appear in one organizational email dashboard. And we talked about this earlier in the session for email V2, but again, email marketing, it's free, completely free, unlimited emails that you can send every month, unlimited contacts that you can upload with historical data, as many fields as you want, beautiful default templates that are coming soon. Email builder, no coding is required. So it's that drag and drop capability. You can run reports to see performance on bounce rates, run reports on who unsubscribed. The automated data replacement tags, you can personalize emails. So people feel like you spend hours on emails to create these really personal emails to make them feel special. You spend seconds instead. You can schedule the emails to go out in advance, or you can send immediately. And again, talked about the unsubscribe management. So just a really powerful tool. If you haven't gotten in there to play around with email V2, I would really encourage that. So targeting, communicating when you're using the email for organizations, again, it's following that payment account. You can do it by participants, the current participants, past participants, if you have that data loaded in from previous years. And then on the ticket level, you can include attendees. So you can send it to all your ticket purchasers, or if you're collecting information per ticket holder, then you can send to all the ticket holders. So there's that distinction of like who bought the tickets and then who's actually holding the tickets. Most, I'd say 80 to 90% of events on our ticket platform are just doing the ticket purchasers. They're not collecting information about every ticket that they sell. Because again, people aren't really thinking about who they're going to bring to that festival. They just know they're going. And then donors right now from just our donation forms, you can also target that list as well when you're sending emails. All right, so you can build a robust list, segment based on previous behavior. So again, you can select, maybe all of the, festival events that you had in the summer. You're going to email all of those lists for your fall festival events. You can cross promote between the two, separating marketing versus transactional. So cover this again in email V2, but I want to pause on that. It's really important. So we have these two categories that when you send out with email V2, that if you're sending out for marketing, it's because you're trying to get them to sign up for the ticket event, right? And somebody may say, well, I'm just getting too much information. I'm already going to your event. I'm not that interested in hearing about everything else, all the promotions you have going on. If they unsubscribe from that, it's not going to take them off of the transactional list. And when they register or purchase a ticket, they're put on both lists first, right? So if they're still on the transactional one, they're going to get that pre-event email that tells them where you should park and what the hours of the event are. Let's see, unsubscribes are separate from race and event level. And this organizational email is ideal for newsletters. So, trying to take all of the events that you're promoting and talk about them together as one, as opposed to using email marketing by race or ticket level when you're just talking about that specific one. And then we thought these guys, they're sending out already 80,000, 100,000 plus contacts using organizational email to highlight their Santa hustle. And you can see that they're timing these. So, by week 1 and week 2, they're talking about price increases. So obviously great job with their marketing and their branding and having a lot of success on a really high volume level.
Any questions so far? I know we're kind of starting to rip through slides here again fast. I don't want you guys to fall asleep.
Do you have any? No, thanks. Do you have any thoughts on, like, if somebody registers, buys a ticket, you capture that person's email that's purchasing 4 tickets because they use their credit card, all that kind of stuff, but you don't capture the other 3 that are going to end up coming to the event. So when you get ready to remarket the event the next year and send out a save the date email or whatever it is, you only have that one person out of 4 that came to your
That's
event.
up to you.
Do you have any ideas of, you've been in the industry of doing festivals and stuff. Do you just let it go, or do you do something at your actual festival to capture information?
That's a good question. I think that, some groups would set up opportunities to have giveaways if you present your email, other ways to collect information from people. But one idea too would be to create a field or a custom question that's editable in the check-in app. And so that when they check in, you do ask for their email address to be entered for all of the ticket holders.
I don't have their information, so I get them to enter it there.
Yes, you would see that field is blank. So you would have to train your team. I don't think we have any like call outs to be like collect this or require this. So you would need to make sure you train folks on that. But that's one way to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say a lot of ticket events will decide I'm more interested, like I want to get to people later, but I'm more interested in just getting them through the process, because there's less of a threshold for staying, to put more time in when you're buying a ticket versus a registration for an event that you're going to have to train for, right? Like you're not training, well, you could train for a craft beer fest by.
Oh, you got to train for that.
Maybe you're working on that your whole life, but so do you know what I'm saying? Like they want to get through. They're used to like a concert ticket, right? Where you don't need to know who's sitting in these seats. I just want these seats, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be dependent on the type of event, right? Because if it's, obviously if it's a form of family events, you probably only need one parent's contact info, right? So. Yes, Bruce. Eddie.
Is TicketSignup have the same volunteer setup that RunSignup has? Can you run volunteers through there if you need volunteers for your event when you're setting it up? Or do you need a separate platform then through TicketSignup to do volunteers?
So we don't have a volunteer registration component to TicketSignup, but the ticket check-in app can be used by volunteers on any device. Are you asking about how do you sign up volunteers for shifts and times?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that?
If I'm doing a beer festival, I need volunteers just like I would for a race. So I need to collect volunteers.
Yep.
On my site, but TicketSignup doesn't have that capability like
I mean,
RunSignup does.
You could set up a free ticket and call it a volunteer ticket, and you could collect information if you wanted to keep it all in one place. Otherwise, you could set up the volunteer registration on one of our registration sites and then just link to it from the ticket site.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's not integrated at this time.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not the way the registration is.
Okay.
Yeah. You have a question? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a really specific question. Registration sign up, ticket sign up. So we have an event where we have a barbecue contest, and the teams will buy tickets for their team members to come into the contest. They'll scan in to the contest as a ticketed member of the team.
Sure.
On registration sign up, would you be able to buy tickets for like with the less information via a registered team? Is there integration between the two on something like that?
So I think, again, that example earlier where if you're selling a registration and then you want to buy spectator tickets, basically, right? So I want 4 of my friends to come and watch me or family, you would use the registration add-on feature in registration. And then you could, there are some ways to differentiate different answers. So you could ask them like for their name or their email or something like that. Yeah. Okay. And then we just wanted to point out, if you're going to be setting up an organization email marketing, it is under the free email marketing menu item. So that's where you're going to find the wizard to get that set up. And then it will appear in your profile, just like other things like your fundraisers, your registrations, the races that you organize. And then not just email, but we also now have organization websites. So eventually this is going to replace partner websites. And already, though, we have the ability to use the new website builder, which is not available on the partner sites right now. So, those that are using it have seen it's probably a little bit more back in the olden days in terms of what the design capabilities are, right? So now you can do something much more dynamic with the organization website. It's free and it includes hosting, unlimited pages. It's mobile optimized. It features your brand. There's no RunSignup or TicketSignup or anything on there. And it's automatically created once you set up that organization website.
Yeah, this is a great replacement for things like a Wix. Well, if your business is sitting on a Wix website or something, you updated this race, then you got to go back to your Wix website, update that. This race is coming up, so you put it and highlight it on your Wix website, and then it passes, and then you switch it and move the results. Like organizational website, it's just going to perfectly roll through. Here's our upcoming events. Here's our past results. So you can have events here, ticket events here, and it's just going to try to encompass everything under one roof for you. So you're not doing multiple edits here and there, which still happens constantly. Eddie, right? You got a website for the race that literally just links to RunSignup for every button, right? Like, come on, man. Let's just get everything on. Let's set up.
Here's an example of somebody using one right now is that you can go on and look right now in your web browser, but the Main Track Club. So we've got, it's another one that's fresh out of development but a lot of people are already starting to use it. So if you want to check out in real time. We've already talked about the check-in apps. Who's using race day check-in apps for packet pickup? And nice. Anybody that has a ticket event, have you used the ticket check-in app? Nice. And I think you'll find, we've been adding more and more features to it so that you can see the store purchases. You can turn that on or off if anybody has added that to their tickets. The ability to hide later event or ticket groups so that if you're doing a Friday event, you don't need the volunteers to see all the tickets for Saturday and Sunday. You can hide Saturday and Sunday tickets so they don't accidentally check somebody in on the wrong date. And, going back to race day check-in, our timers have voted last year, it's the most valuable most valuable product at RunSignup is the ticket check-in or the race day check-in app. Stumbling over my words here. All right. So again, I just want to reiterate, it's the same technology that's coming over from the race day team here. If you haven't gotten to chat with them, make sure you go to the demo, talk to them about how they brought all this on board. It's friendly with iOS and Android devices. Talked about the scanning the QR codes that come on all of the ticket confirmations. So for easy check-in, get people quickly through the line and into the event. And you don't have to necessarily invest in a lot of hardware or devices, right? So if volunteers are comfortable using their own devices, it's very easy to set up with a simple password. You can always revoke that access by changing the password. So all of your data is still safe. Yeah, sorry, I went over that. That's correct. Yep. And then this is another piece that's fresh out of development, which is point of sale. So now you can actually process tickets, purchase tickets within the app. And you can bring over your Square account if you'd like to.
So
So
you buy a cookie? See, all right, you got to experience
it. Perfect.
it. Another good cookies.
So that's some more flexibility. It's still going to collect all the information that you want, but the actual transaction is going to process. And so you will need to use Square for your financial reporting. We're not obviously bringing over that data since it's not processed with us. So yeah, we'd love for feedback as you're using it and playing with it. And there's going to be lots more updates that will be coming on board. But I think this is pretty exciting. A lot of ticket event customers have been asking for it.
So one thing I want to say is this is, I think, a new path for a lot of us. You know, some people do other events like that. But you're here, you probably understand that we have grown our company the way we have by asking all of your feedback and then telling Bruce to develop it. But that's how we've made, you know, what I think is the best system in the United States at this point, is just listening to you guys and then taking the feedback and having them code it up. So if you guys start to go down and play with the ticket site as well, and you're using it for real examples, let us know if you stumble across hiccup bug. This could be done in 2 clicks instead of 5 clicks, or it'd be great if this report was here or there, or I don't have this report at all. Just keep bringing us that feedback. We log everything. If this doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for us, right? So we all have to grow together in this. So yeah, we want your feedback. So, yeah.
Sure, and I did all the graphic work for them, but I did like all their, you know, emails and stuff, and it would be cool if y'all made a like an app, like an event app that, you know, maybe you can be specialized for that one event, like this seminar, you know, like.
So event apps stink, and the issue is, and stop me if I'm wrong on this, Bruce, there is if you make an update to an app in the Apple network, I do believe it's a 2-week. How does that work? Is it 2 weeks before it can be updated?
There's probably ways around that, but to put an app on the app store is a process and it's not simple. But there might be a way to do that with a container and your info inside.
Right, and they have like log into the app and they go to their like.
Was it like Hova kind of, or where you're still opening another app and then within that app is the event app, right? Yep.
Thousands of races right now, okay? And to customize RaceJoy for every single race that wants to do it would literally cost about $15,000 just to launch RaceJoy customized. So it doesn't give us the ability to scale that and make it really robust for everyone. And then when you start to look at every race would want something unique on top of that $15,000 just to manage it. So it doesn't scale really well. And the other factor is that Apple and Google have both said very clearly that if it is a duplicated app that is looking the same across every single event, they're going to block it, right? So there are organizations in the endurance industry that do custom app development. And what you'll find is that it's for the largest races because they're willing to pay $100,000 for a really custom built app for the New York City Marathon or Chicago or Boston, right? And even those organizations are actually going to India with their sponsor to get most of that done. Okay. So truthfully, it just doesn't scale because Apple and Google have hammered down the throats of everyone that used to do what you're talking about, that those duplicated apps that are fake custom are going to get smashed and blocked, and they have. So that's one of the biggest reasons why.
Got another question here.
Yeah.
Okay, so the data collected in the run sign up and the ticket, are they able to talk to each other? Like, can you use the data collected on the run sign up to the ticket too, or no? Or you gotta literally like create the export like the emails to, you know, import into the ticket.
So if you're, what did you say, Eric?
So the email platform, like, you know, but you think of it like in video version,
So you are able to see everything from the run sign up to and the ticket thing.
For organizational email, right? But if you're in email V2 for the actual ticket event or race, you won't see the other events across it. So you have to have that organizational email account. Yeah. If you haven't set it up, then you don't have it. So you're gonna go through that.
Before you leave.
I know we're technically over, which is why people are skirting out of here, but honestly, if you have more questions, we'll stay here and answer any questions that you have. Or if you want to set something up, feel free to head to the demo room probably tomorrow and we'll get you taken care with that.
So before everyone breaks, let me go through the quick logistics for tonight. So we're going to the view on 50. It's at the 3 Logan Square building. It's not on 50th Street. It's 50 stories up. It's a really nice view up there. You have 2 options. You can brave the mean streets of Philly and walk 5 blocks to get there on your own. It's going to be kicking off around 6, or you can meet in the lobby at 5:45. We'll all walk over together. Or of course you could Uber over. So thanks for all your attention and the good discussion, and looking forward to seeing you at the event tonight. Thank you. Thanks, guys.